How to avoid getting banned on Bigo Live. Thousands of streamers wake up every day to find their Bigo Live accounts permanently suspended, losing months or years of hard work in an instant. The worst part? Most of them have no idea what they did wrong. They followed the obvious rules, avoided the clear violations, but still got caught in Bigo's increasingly aggressive moderation system. What they didn't know is that platform bans aren't just about breaking rules, they're about understanding an invisible enforcement system that operates on algorithms, cultural sensitivities, and unwritten policies that change without warning. This Duel of Concepts deep dive is your complete survival guide to the minefield of Bigo Live's moderation system, revealing the hidden tripwires that destroy accounts and the exact strategies that keep successful streamers safe. The reality of content moderation on a global platform like Bigo Live is more complex than most creators realize. You're not just dealing with a simple list of prohibited content, you're navigating cultural differences across dozens of countries, AI moderation systems that make mistakes, and policy interpretations that vary by region and reviewer. Understanding Bigo's moderation ecosystem. Bigo Live uses a multi-layered moderation system combining automated AI detection, user reporting, and human review. The AI scans for visual content, audio patterns, and text that matches violation databases. User reports can trigger immediate reviews, and human moderators make final decisions, but they often reviewing content without cultural context or understanding of your streaming history. The most dangerous aspect of this system is that violations are cumulative, minor infractions that wouldn't normally result in bans start adding up to create a pattern that triggers increasingly severe penalties. Understanding this progression is crucial for long-term account safety. The hidden categories of violations, beyond the obvious rules against nudity, violence, and illegal activities, Bigo has sophisticated detection systems for subtle violations that many streamers don't realize exist. Copyright detection can flag background music, TV shows playing in the background, or even humming copyrighted melodies. Political content restrictions vary by region, and can result in bans for discussing topics that are perfectly legal in your country but sensitive in others. Community guideline violations include harassment that the AI interprets as directed at viewers. Even when you're joking with friends, spam detection can flag repetitive content, excessive self-promotion, or even using similar phrases too frequently across multiple streams. Regional and cultural sensitivity traps. Bigo Live operates globally, which means your content is subject to the most restrictive standards from any region where it might be viewed. Gestures, clothing, topics, or behaviors that are completely normal in your culture might be offensive or illegal in other regions where Bigo operates. Religious sensitivity is particularly tricky because what seems like casual commentary in one culture can be deeply offensive in another. Political discussions, even seemingly neutral ones, can trigger violations if they touch on sensitive topics in any region where your stream is accessible. The algorithm's behavioral patterns. Bigo's AI moderation system learns from patterns, which means it can flag content that technically doesn't violate rules, but resembles patterns associated with violations. If you frequently stream late at night, use certain keywords, or have specific visual elements in your background, the algorithm might flag your content for additional scrutiny. Engagement patterns that seem suspicious to the algorithm, like sudden spikes in viewers, unusual gift patterns, or rapid follower growth, can trigger fraud detection systems that result in account suspension while under investigation. Content that seems safe but isn't. Educational content about sensitive topics can still trigger violations. Discussing health issues, relationship advice, or social issues might seem helpful but can be flagged as medical advice. Sexual content, or political commentary depending on how the AI interprets your words. Reaction content is particularly risky because you can't control what appears in videos you're reacting to. A few seconds of copyrighted content, inappropriate imagery, or sensitive topics in a reaction video can result in violations even if you had no control over the source material. Chat moderation and community management. You're responsible for what happens in your chat, even if you didn't say it yourself. Viewers can post content that gets your stream flagged, and inadequate moderation can result in community guideline violations. This makes chat moderation tools and active moderators essential for account protection. Understanding which chat behaviors to watch for and respond to quickly can prevent minor incidents from escalating into reportable violations. Having clear chat rules and enforcing them consistently protects both your community and your account. Technical violations and platform abuse. Using unauthorized software, bots, or third-party tools to manipulate your stream metrics can result in immediate permanent bans. This includes fake followers, artificial gift inflation, view bots, or any software that automates interactions with the platform. Multiple account violations are increasingly common as Bigo cracks down on creators trying to circumvent previous penalties by creating new accounts. Device fingerprinting and IP tracking make it nearly impossible to hide previous account history. The appeal process and damage control. When violations occur, how you respond can determine whether you get a warning, temporary suspension, or permanent ban. Understanding the appeal process, providing appropriate documentation, and communicating effectively with Bigo's support team can often reverse unfair penalties. Having backup plans for communication with your audience during suspensions is crucial. Social media accounts, Discord servers, or email lists allow you to maintain community connections while resolving account issues. Building violation-resistant content strategies. The safest long-term strategy is building content that's inherently low-risk while still being engaging and profitable. This means avoiding gray areas, understanding your audience demographics to predict potential reporting patterns, and creating content that translates well across different cultural contexts. Diversification protects against sudden policy changes. If your entire content strategy depends on approaches that could become violations with new policy updates, you're vulnerable to sudden account termination. Documentation and record keeping. Keeping records of your content, interactions with support, and any communications about violations helps build cases for appeals and demonstrates good faith compliance efforts. Screenshots of chat interactions, recordings of violations, discussions, and documentation of policy clarifications can be crucial during appeal processes. Understanding your analytics helps identify patterns that might be flagging your content for additional scrutiny. Sudden changes in reach, engagement, or demographic data can indicate algorithm concerns that haven't yet resulted in visible violations. Proactive compliance strategies. Staying ahead of policy changes requires following Bigo's official communications, connecting with other creators to share compliance intelligence, and monitoring industry changes that might affect platform policies. Regular content audits help identify potential violation risks before they become problems. Reviewing your past streams for content that might not age well under changing policies allows you to address issues proactively. Advanced protection techniques. Understanding the difference between automated flagging and human review helps you prepare appropriate responses to different types of violations. AI flags can often be appealed successfully with proper context, while human reviewer decisions require different strategies. Building positive relationships with your audience reduces malicious reporting, which is often a significant factor in account suspensions. Communities that actively support their creators are less likely to generate the user reports that trigger review processes. Business continuity planning. Professional streamers need backup plans for account suspension or termination. This includes alternative revenue streams, audience migration strategies, and legal considerations for significant account suspensions that affect your livelihood. Understanding your rights and options during the violation process, including when legal consultation might be appropriate for business-critical account suspensions, helps protect your streaming career from unfair enforcement actions. The future of platform moderation. Bigo's moderation systems are constantly evolving, becoming more sophisticated, but also more unpredictable. Staying informed about changes in AI moderation, policy updates, and enforcement patterns helps you adapt your content strategy before violations occur. Building sustainable streaming practices that don't depend on pushing policy boundaries ensures long-term success regardless of how platform moderation evolves over time. Platform violations are just rule violations. They're business risks that can destroy months or years of work instantly. The creators who succeed long-term on Bigo Live aren't necessarily the ones who never break rules, but the ones who understand the moderation system well enough to navigate it safely while still creating engaging, profitable content. Remember, every violation is a learning opportunity, but learning after a permanent ban is too late. Proactive compliance isn't just about following rules. It's about understanding a complex, evolving system and positioning your content strategy to thrive within whatever boundaries the platform establishes. If this breakdown of Bigo's hidden moderation system just saved your streaming career from a future disaster, smash that like button and tell us in the comments about the closest call you've had with platform violations. What happened and how you handled it. Subscribe to Duel of Concepts for more behind-the-scenes platform intelligence that most creators learn the hard way. And here's a community challenge. Share one compliance tip that worked for you that was unmentioned in this video. Let's build a collective knowledge base that keeps everyone streaming safely, because the platform won't always give you a second chance to get it right.